welcome back to Cozy Vlogs. If you're new here, my name is Kristen and on this channel we do all the cozy things, a lot of cooking, baking, decorating, DIYs and gardening. And today we're gonna do some much needed fall gardening. I hope that you can hear me because my neighbors also just started mowing their lawn and doing all the fall garden work, so it might be a little bit noisy, but we're doing our best here. Today, as I said, we're gonna do a lot of fall gardening. What that includes is basically I want to start digging up these raspberries, and as you can see we have quite a lot of them, so it's like a kind of double or triple row of raspberries, and I want to have just one single row of raspberries because first of all you cannot reach in the middle because right now it's looking kind of sparse, but when it's in full season you cannot reach in the middle. Second of all, this raspberry does not have a root barrier, so they can just jump to basically anywhere in the garden. And let me tell you, it has been so tedious to weed these raspberries everywhere out of the garden, so I just want to like control them a little bit more, and also so they wouldn't like jump into our neighbor's garden. And like I said, they're just like unmanageable, so I think the root barrier will like really help to contain them. And I want to plant some tulips and daffodils into these containers where our new roses are. I don't think I've showed these yet, but Christo built me these like rose containers, and there is landscape fabric on the bottom as you can see, but there's a hole in the middle, a big one, so the rose can find its way into the deep ground. And we have this rose, Sir Camelot. This can grow up to 3 meters, and it's very winter hardy, I think up to minus 20 degrees without any protection, though I will put some coconut fiber around it. And we have on this side of the arch Kiss Me Kate, and we always call it Kiss Me Kate and Sir Camelot. I think the other one, I just said Sir Camelot, but it's just Camelot, but we used to call it Sir Camelot. So it's a very romantic rose arch, and actually this one has bloomed already just about a week ago, and it was so beautiful, and also it smelled like a really nice rose perfume. It was so like fragrant, and I actually can't wait for this arch to be filled in completely, and hopefully it will happen in around like the next 1 to 2 years. But yes, so I want to plant some tulips and daffodils in there just so next spring there will be some color at the entry of the garden. And then we do have our cherry tree that is unfortunately suffering from cherry wasps and some fungus. I just treated it with fungicide about 4 days ago, so we have to wait around let's say like 2 weeks, I think it said on the package. You can see the fungus here, and this is damage from the cherry wasps, so I really hope it will make it, but it is actually looking a little bit better than it did before. And I just dug yesterday a little bit around the stem so it would be a bit more like airflow in the stem area, and then I'm gonna put some daffodils and tulips in this flower bed as well because there's actually soil beneath here. And the last thing is, you can see already here is one more bed that's gonna come that I dug up, but last night it was 2 degrees Celsius, and I think my plants got a little bit of shock, at least some of them. This is a butternut honey nut squash pumpkin. There's one in there, actually 2 or 3 are in there, and I might go ahead and leave this plant or I might pull it. I haven't decided yet. Everything else that can take a bit of a cold, like the spinach, carrots, my lettuce, radishes, they're all doing great, but this zucchini and the pumpkin, they have taken quite of the cold hit last night. I'm gonna harvest the last jalapeno. There are some more like flowers here, but I doubt that this plant is gonna make it because it's just gonna get colder from now on. And you can see that I have used some pumpkin cuttings just to cover the soil, because this is just bare soil here and I don't want any weeds to like fly in here. So actually next year what we're gonna do with this whole area here is we're gonna add more garden beds, and this whole area will be with landscape fabric and gravel. I just don't want to like go weeding around here, or like have a higher risk of weeds in our garden beds. So this will be gravel, and I'm gonna put like a nice seating area over here, and I think it's just gonna give the garden a lot more like structure and beauty. But I have talked enough for right now, so let's go and start digging up these raspberries. So like I said, I'm taking out all of these raspberries basically because I want to get the roots under control. Raspberries spread through rhizomes, so they can form really long roots under the earth, and they can basically jump to extreme lengths in your garden, and they can pop up literally anywhere. So I really want to contain those roots. And if you're someone who wants to grow raspberries in their own garden and you're just like starting to plant them, definitely put a root barrier. So here I'm showing you what I took out that day. I got to maybe about like 1/3 of these raspberries that I actually got to take out. It was quite a lot, and even though it was chilly outside, it did get hot because it's really hard to get all of the roots out. But we have to do it. We have to dig up all these roots in order to, get a nice clean start on these raspberries. And also I'm gonna show you one thing that is really important for us in this garden. We have this problem with binding weed, like the one that you can see here, and it basically climbs up on other plants and it strangles them. And these raspberries were full of them this summer, and we need to contain this binding weed. Welcome back. It's Wednesday today, and the last time I filmed was actually on Sunday, and I did stop digging up the raspberries at some point just because I really wanted to enjoy the rest of my Sunday evening. I have a really busy work week this week. Yesterday and the day before was kind of crazy, and tomorrow and Friday will also be very busy. So with that being said, I do have some time on my hands today, and I really want to finish these raspberries up. So I have my cup of coffee going, and I'm ready to go out into the garden. I will probably put a sweater on. It's kind of a gray overcast day. It's not too cold, but still it's kind of chilly. And there are also a couple of other projects that I want to tackle. I don't know if I'm gonna do all of them today, but some for sure, like pulling out some plants that I just want to get rid of. And yeah, I'll take you with me. Let's go. We do have our own door now from our garage basically into the garden, which is amazing. So we don't have to go through our neighbor's lot anymore. I really love that. Also, it is kind of windy today, so I do hope that you can hear me well. I am definitely working on getting some microphones to just improve the sound quality. But yeah, I offered also our neighbors to take some raspberries if they want to, the ones that I dug out. I don't know if they actually took something, but yeah, this is how it's looking at the moment. So let's get it started. Okay, so before we are getting started, I just wanted to show you these super beautiful flowers. I did not plant these were here before, and I believe this is the green stuff that kind of was hanging on there, and I cut down. They look like some crocus or some tulip, I don't know. They're so pretty. And we do have a bunch of them here as well. They are so pretty. And also, kind of, can you tell I'm stalling to dig out these raspberries? I really don't want to do it. These cranberries, they were full of cranberries actually. And I guess the birds ate them because they're not here anymore, and I don't think one of our neighbors came to like take something. So yeah, I guess the birds really like these cranberries. I should have harvested them, but oh well. It's okay if the birds like eat some of them, so I don't really mind it. Just the reason why I thought the birds ate them is because 1-2 twigs were like snipped off, and I think this happens when they like try to eat the berry and they kind of hit the stem or something, the twig, but it's okay. I can definitely share with the birds on that, as long as they don't eat my blueberries. But we harvested all of the blueberries already, so that doesn't matter. And since the very early frosts hit my pumpkin and my zucchini so hard, you can see they're almost dead. I'm just gonna go ahead and pull them out already. There's no like sense in still having them here. Okay, this probably would survive, but I'm just gonna go ahead and pull it because I'm gonna plant some garlic here very soon, and they need to go anyway, so let's just do it now. So I was explaining something in the next clip, but it was just way too noisy. So what I was saying is that I'm using these plants that I pulled and also the dead pumpkin leaves as mulch on top of my bed, because introducing like organic matter to your bed or to your soil is very beneficial. As the plant breaks down, it will provide nutrients for other plants, and also it's food for earthworms and such. And of course it leaves your soil not so exposed to like weeds flying around. But it's important to not use any, or I wouldn't use any diseased plants, so only plants that you have either pulled or snipped, or like in my case that have frost damage. Since the pumpkin did not want to cooperate, it's just too heavy to pull out, to be honest. I just gonna cut the stem and I'm gonna leave the roots inside. It doesn't matter, we're just gonna top dress with a bit of soil when we plant the garlic. This is massive. Can you see this? Oh my god. Oh my gourd. Gourd. Okay. So we have some butternut squash here. So you can see they are a little bit orange, but they're nowhere near ripe. But since they have orange a little bit, I will just try to ripen these off the vine and we'll see what happens. So after stalling for quite some time, it was finally time to finish up these raspberries. This was probably my least favorite thing to do in the garden this year, just because it was so like time and energy consuming, and I feel like I didn't even like get anywhere until I actually finished the raspberries. But I also know that this needed to be done definitely, and that probably I will be thanking myself for this next year. Whew. Quite honestly, it is exhausting, or really energy consuming at least, to dig out these raspberries. Here you can see how exhausting it is exactly. This might be gross, but this is reality. And I have just made the executive decision that these raspberries will not go back in not even with the root barrier. Since Christo is not here, he had no part in this decision, unfortunately. He will be coming back tomorrow, and I of course will be talking through it. I will be talking it through with him, but like I said, this is my executive decision as the CEO of this garden, and I will probably only grow raspberries in containers. I don't want them to spread out again, and these raspberries are feeling very overwhelming to me at the moment, of course, because I have to dig them all up and it's a huge project, but I just don't want to feel overwhelmed by my garden. And these raspberries are really worrying me, even though when I put them back in with the root barrier, I am worrying about the weeds that are in the ground, like all the seeds, like the whole seed profile, because as you can see there are a lot of weeds here, and also this binding weed. So I will not be putting these back in, and I really want to make this like an area that I thoroughly enjoy. And I think I would enjoy having, for example, tuya trees or some boxwood or something like that a lot more than just the raspberries. I can grow them anywhere in the container in the garden, and if I really want to, I can still make a hedge in some other part of the garden, just because this is my berry patch here with the cranberries and the blueberries doesn't mean I have to have the raspberries here. I was kind of battling with myself this whole time, but since this is actually kind of my landscaping, I will probably put some more beautifying structural plants here, such as hydrangeas or tuya trees or boxwood, or I don't know, but there is a lot of options, and I'll probably not put anything in here this fall anyway, so I have time to think over the winter until next spring. I am gonna finish the raspberries now. It's not a whole lot left, but still a little bit, so I'll see you when I'm finished. If you do wanna grow your raspberries with a root barrier, then I will try to find this video that I saw, and I will try to kind of attach it in the description of this video, just so if you are interested, then you can totally do it that way. I just have made the decision for myself that I do not want to do it, just because of the overwhelm and the weeds, but this would totally be an option if you do want to grow a raspberry hedge. Look what I found. Where are they? Here. There are actually ripe raspberries here. See, this is what I mean when I say that you cannot reach in the middle, because I totally did not see these from like one side or another. But yay! We got a little treat. Woo! Oh no! Clearly they were not meant for me. It's kind of crazy that there were ripe raspberries in this hedge, because it's September, like middle of September, and we got the first raspberries I think in June, end of June, July. So it's kind of crazy that there are still some ripe raspberries. We are luckily in the final stretch with these raspberries, at least for digging them up. So we only have that part left, and all the other stuff is done up to the hydrangeas I was digging. You can see it here. And what we're gonna do after we are finished digging it up is, of course, dig the earth like around, so to take out the rest of the roots that are in the ground still, because I'm sure there are some. And you can see like these are raspberry roots. They're huge. And after that, when we are all finished, we're gonna put landscape fabric on here, on this whole patch, and then probably mulch the area as well, so it will not be exposed over the winter, and until we decide what we're gonna do. And one more thing is that we will also put landscape fabric here all over the lawn basically, because we want to put gravel in between the garden beds, and it will make it a lot easier next year to dig up this area if the like grass and the other weeds and stuff, if they have like kind of composted, and if they have not grown, the soil will be a lot looser. So let's finish these raspberries. Here is the aftermath of the raspberries. Oh, it doesn't look so much right now, but just because it's a really nice like pile. But look at this, such a big difference. Of course it's like very exposed here right now, but we are gonna put, pretty sure, some tuya trees here, and then we will also have more privacy. This is amazing. And we have these hydrangeas here. I think next year, not this year, next year I will dig this one up and like put it behind here so they're not like in this weird row before the raspberries went until here, so I couldn't do that basically. But I'm so excited. We have this little spirea shrub here as well. It looks so different, wow. And the sun is coming out. I'm so happy and honestly quite proud of myself for not giving up and being able to dig all these raspberries out. It was a big project, and I'm gonna start maybe even in digging and dig up the ground right now, and we'll see what happens. This here is exactly the reason why I am redigging up this soil. I got this full bag of roots just from this little part basically, and this is a huge root. This would otherwise be in the ground still, and who knows like what would come from it. So this is why I'm redigging it. Good morning you guys, it's October 1st and today we're gonna finish our little garden project, at least the most part of it. We have gotten frosts for the past week now. There are light frosts, so we get them over the night. But you can see here, I'm gonna show it to you. The grass is definitely white. There's frost on it and it's so cold. I don't want to have my plants take damage from this frost, so I do need to kind of wrap the roses into something, get the greenery off, and get my spring flowers that I really want to have in my spring beds next year into the ground. We've got these really pretty ones. We have tulips, hyacinths, daffodils. I have more daffodils over there. I have lilies that I got from my mother-in-law, and we also have garlic that I want to put in my raised bed, but that has to wait one more week because there's still stuff growing in the raised bed, like carrots and cabbage that I don't want to pull out just yet. So we're gonna do that probably next week. I might take you along or just post it as a short, but these spring flowers really need to go in today, so let's get started. So this is what we're working with. I bought a bunch of tulips from a lot of different places. One of them was Marafaput. They had a really nice selection, and these were actually from Lidl, so this is kind of like a mixed pack. I have to see where I'm gonna put everything. But I just love tulips. I can't help it. I think these might be my favorite ones, these Weber's Parrot, just because I know my mom has them in her garden and they're so pretty. And I did want kind of like a variety of tulips, so it's not just like one color, you know, not just pink. This obviously will not turn out as blue because after I ordered it, I actually read that there are no true blue tulips, so this will be more kind of like, I think, violet color. But we're gonna see how it turns out. I'm super excited for it though. And you know, maybe we got lucky. And also these peppermint stick, I think they look so cute. And I also read that these are perfectly to kind of like wilder out, so you just basically put them in your lawn and they will grow there and kind of, you know, reproduce really nicely. But I have not decided where exactly I will put them yet. Let's just see. Definitely I have to take my lemon drop pepper, distilled pepper sunder, and my jalapeno inside, my tomato. My basil has taken, unfortunately, a frost hit. As you can see, it's not looking too great, but that was to be expected. I just pruned my roses, like I took most of the leaves off. I read that you do that to avoid like fungal spores reproduction, or like to have a lot of fungal spores after the winter. I did leave like some of the leaves there. These roses are very winter hardy. I think they're up to minus 15 degrees Celsius, but we do get sometimes more than up to minus 20, even sometimes up to minus 30 here in Estonia, so we are in a very harsh climate. I do think that I have to protect them. I will go and buy some coconut fiber like this coming week, and also actually I will put this fabric around them. This is specifically for winter. It's like a thicker material, and I am hoping that this will help the roses not to die off, and hopefully they will be pushing new growth next year. I will prune them a little bit back next spring as well, and we're gonna do it together probably anyway, so I'm gonna take you with me along the way. I am not a rose expert, and I've just tried to educate myself a little bit, but we're just gonna see what happens. And now yeah, I also wanted to show that I did kind of like tie them up, so if there are like winter fall storms, the branches wouldn't snap. And this was tied already, so I just tied like the upper part, which is kind of flimsy because it grew already quite large. It's almost at the top of the arch. So yeah, this is what I did to prepare this rose, and like I said, cut the leaves. But let's start with the tulips. So because these roses are pink, I have just decided right now to keep this in a pink theme. So I'm gonna use this pink kind of hyacinth, these pink yellow tulips, and my favorite Weber's parrot tulips, and we're gonna put them in those two boxes. And now here I'm doing what I said, like I try to kind of mix these two together, so to put tulips and this allium here together, and I'm planting them a little bit closer, I think, than it was suggested. I'm not entirely sure if these are the hyacinths. I do believe that these are, and I do love hyacinths, so I'm gonna put one here. I don't know if this is a daffodil, it kind of looks like one. Here. And also I will sprinkle a few of these alliums in between. Also, I've just now decided, because I have one pack of this like orange kind of mix, and I believe that these are the corums for these anemone flowers. It's, I think, ranunculus, yes. And I do want to put these and some of these other orange flowers in between, on both sides of these pink flowers, because I think the orange just complement really well on these like beautiful pink colors. So that's what we're gonna do as well. I am just now realizing that probably I did overshop a bit, because I don't have that many flower beds. I used 3 packs for these 2 boxes here. I used 2 pink and 1 orange ones, and I think I used 1 or 2 of these like Charming Beauty tulips, and these boxes are filled to the brim. And I still have a lot of these Charming Beauty tulips left, and I haven't even used my Weber's Parrot tulips or any of the other ones, so we're gonna have to find some space to put them, because I don't want these to, you know, like I don't want these to go to waste. Oh boy, here you can see the frost damage that has hit my other plants, so we can definitely put some more tulips in here. Oh my god, I wasn't even thinking of that, but we can put some in the landscaping. That's not a bad idea. Even some here. Okay, so okay, I feel a little bit relieved, because apart from this cherry tulip tree bed, we do have some other spaces. I just need to make some holes in the landscape fabric then, but I'm just relieved that we can put my beloved tulips all in the ground. And you know, if I could really like not use them, I would probably use them for like some containers and then re-dig them into the ground like next autumn, so like after I have saved them. So yeah, let's get the cherry tree done first, and then probably we'll start with the landscaping and next to our pear tree. This cherry tree is looking a lot better. I did a second round of fungicide with it, and it's looking a lot healthier at the moment, but we're gonna see what comes from it next year and how we are proceeding with it next year. Definitely we have to renew the paint on the stem to avoid sun damage, because it does not get any shade throughout the day. And probably, I mean, we'll see, maybe it's healthy even next year. So, but I do want to start with adding the tulips here. I chose these varieties. So we have Weber's Parrot, these ones, and we have Peppermint Stick. Then we have the rest of the Charming Beauty that's still open, and I chose these blue parrot ones. They're kind of like more violet, I'm guessing, so I hope that these will go together nicely. And I have a few of Darwin Snow, so they're just like plain white tulips with some curling around the edges, and we're gonna put these in here, like just sprinkle them in here. Peppermint Stick, and I'm just thinking right now, maybe I will do it that way, that I'll put a few of them in the lawn, like alongside our bushes, and let them kind of procreate there. I think that's not a bad idea. So I'm done with digging these tulips in. Wait, I just found too much in my jacket. Okay, I'm just gonna plant these anywhere right now. But I'm finished with this. We have put in Weber's Parrot, we have put in Blue Parrot, Peppermint Stick, and I've put some of them around there. Also, some of this Peppermint Stick. Then we've put the Charming Beauty in and the Darwin Snow. So we have a quite nice flower bed over here. This is everything that should grow there next year. Hopefully everything will pop up. I can't wait for next spring already. It feels like garden season just started and now it's ending already, but that's how it goes. So now I'm gonna put the rest of my tulips into the landscaping. I have to do some like holes into my landscaping actually to put them there, and I have to deal with my flower bed a little bit, and I think some of the bulbs I'm also gonna keep to make some nice containers next year. So maybe actually that's what I'm gonna do. And I think the lilies I can still put next spring as well, just because I just don't want to randomly throw them in somewhere. So yeah, okay, just to update you guys, I did go ahead and on my flower bed clean up a bunch of these wild violets. They were super pretty, but they're done. I let these tulips, crocus, whatever they are, I just let them be. They're doing still all right. I did go ahead and put the tulips and the dove hyacinths in here. Then I put these charming beauty tulips, 2 of them. I just had 2 bulbs. I put them under our plum tree. So pretty, hopefully. Our lavender has exploded. We still have some chives. I'm gonna harvest the rest of them today. I cut this flower down. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna keep it for next year. I just let it be there for right now, but I cut it down. Then I dug in some lilies over here. Hopefully they will grow really nice next year. And I dug in some more over here. Here is our rosemary that is left. So, and here are actually my grapes that I bought a couple of weeks back, and I put them in these containers. Obviously they're not gonna stay out here for the winter. They are winter hardy, but in their first year, since they're in a container, I'm gonna take them in our garage. Same with the strawberries. I have propagated some of them, but not all of them, and they will go to the garage also in their container. And then I had this huge plant of chocolate mint. I just pulled it out, and this is your sign to grow mint in a container, not in the ground. This was in the ground over there, and it was spreading so wide and fast. And next year I was kind of sad honestly to pull it out, because I really like chocolate mint and I have gotten a huge harvest off of it. But next year I was thinking, okay, I'm just gonna buy like a new plant of chocolate mint, and it's really easy to grow mint, and I'm gonna grow it in a container instead. I don't want the spreading in our garden at all. And it needs to be contained. So I was sad to pull it out. I was originally thinking of leaving it in there, but seeing how much it has spread in just 1 year of growing, I'm definitely not leaving it in there. And I have pulled a couple of like these rhizomes or roots out from it as well in other areas of this bed. So this was my sign to grow it in a container. No matter how much I love having it here, because actually we have spearmint over there growing already in the grass, like kind of wildly as well. So I don't want the chocolate mint to spread that much as well. But yeah, this is it for this fall gardening vlog. But if you have made it this far, then thank you so much for watching, and I hope you really enjoyed the video. If you like videos like this, then please support my channel by commenting, liking, subscribing, sharing with your friends and loved ones that you think would enjoy videos like this as well. And always let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I hope to see you next time on my channel, and I am so appreciative of every single one of you, and I hope to see you in my next video. So until then, stay cozy, and I hope you have an amazing day. Bye.